he doesn't want to release any of it at all?
But that to me is part of the challenge, to be honest. And I know this doesn't follow the echo chambers of, cable news, but quite honestly, the people who believe in Pizzagate are not only driving what our government focuses on, but what legacy media focuses on. I've seen the breaking news banner all day about the Epstein files this, Epstein files that. And if we are so focused on sexual abuse, I just think the whole reason this became a big deal is because his base thought the Clintons were involved. So this became like blood to them. This was red meat to them. And the tofu that it actually is right now, that Pam Bondi's like, oh, never mind, let's everybody move on. If we're so concerned about sexual abuse of minors in particular, I'm curious if we can just shift focus on actual sexual abuse that happened. Southwest Key Programs, the largest shelter of migrants, minors, they were accused of sexual abuse multiple times during Trump's family separation programs in 2017 and 2018. In March, the Trump administration completely shut down a lawsuit that was going to hold this quote-unquote nonprofit accountable. If we are so concerned about sexual abuse, then where is the outrage from this MAGA base on that, the issues that actually matter? But instead, we are all being led by the nose by this tiny base of people, this MAGA base of people, the same people who followed the Pizzagate conspiracy. They are dictating what we're talking about all day across legacy media. And it is really frustrating to me to witness this because, yeah, I'm not saying that Epstein is not an important case. Then let the DOJ pursue it. That doesn't mean that we should be ignoring the 10, 15 more important stories that are happening. But instead, this tiny group, cable news executives, are like, no, this is red meat. Let's focus on this.
Well,
and it seems like a disgrace.
I think we can chew gum and walk at the same time. J.P. Morgan Chase.
But we're not chewing gum and walking at the same time.
J.P. Morgan Chase settled almost $290 million, I believe, with victims or survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and whoever were his compadres in this despicable, heinous acts against these young women. They didn't settle for absolutely nothing. One of the most powerful banks in the country and arguably in the entire world. Epstein's estate settled millions and millions of dollars for a reason. And so my argument here is, regardless of your thoughts about Trump, regardless of your thoughts about the MAGA base, I think everybody at this table would agree that those young girls who are now women should have their day in court in terms of justice. And we
what
haven't
about
seen
the
that
migrant
yet.
young girls who were sexually abused?
I want them to have
Why
justice
is that
as well.
not as
I'm not
important
gonna
a
ignore
story?
that because it is important.
Because his base voted for damage for somebody else. It was this Epstein case.
I don't know if you can say that in totality.
Of course they did. Of course they did. They don't care. They didn't care about child separation.
Do you not care about it?
I don't think it is the most important story right now.
But is it an important story?
It is an important story. It's not the most important story. It doesn't trump, pardon the pun, it does not trump other more important stories.
I just want to say that, Tiffany, what you're hitting on is something that in our CNN polling that we asked voters about this. First of all, about half of the people that we polled said they're unsatisfied with how much they know about Epstein. But what's interesting is when you look at the partisan breakdown of it, more Democrats than anybody else says that they are dissatisfied with how much has been released. Republicans are at 40%, and some of that is probably because there's a split. There are people who side with Trump and then people who side with, Benny Johnson and Charlie Kirk. But you don't get a Benny Johnson and a Charlie Kirk and a Tucker Carlson without Trump. Those people are extremely powerful in this ecosystem, not because cable news executives made them, but because they helped create what we know as MAGA and Trumpism. And so Trump has to answer to them to some degree,
but we are letting them drive the narrative, respectfully, Abby. Like, we are letting them say this is the most important story.
First of all, I just want to defend, not to defend cable news, but I just want to say, watch this network all day long. We are covering all kinds of stories from all around the globe. Nobody is saying this is the most important story in the country. But
it's been the breaking from a political perspective. But there was no breaking news banner for Southwest Key Programs.
From a political perspective, Donald Trump
to have been abused, and that is an important story too.
From a political perspective,